friends! We all have very limited time and there are so many resources out there to study Japanese, especially like apps and books. So today I'm gonna rank all the resources I used in 2023 so that you know which resources are like worth checking out, at least in my opinion, and which one you don't really have to touch. Let's start with the books. So the first book or like book series I'm going to talk about is the Genki books. And as many of you know, I am a big fan of the Genki books because I used them when I just started studying Japanese in university, but also when I studied by myself. And I think those books are really helpful. So I'm definitely gonna put it into the, I think, love it category. I don't think I need them to survive, but I still reference them from time to time, so I can highly recommend them. Then Nihongo Challenge Kotoba. This is a book for studying JLPT vocabulary for the N4, and I really loved it. Like, there's nothing I didn't like about it. I would definitely buy it again, like 4 and 3. I'm gonna put it in the can't live without it tier because I don't think I would be able to prepare as much for the JLPT like without such a vocabulary book. From the same series, the kanji book, Save Your Money. As I said in my review video from the whole series, I didn't like it at all. There were not a lot of exercises and it didn't really help me like with studying for the JLPT, so you don't have to invest in it. From the same series as well, the Bunpo to Yomorenchu book, so grammar and reading. I would put it in the like meh category because I think it was alright, but the reading part didn't really help me to prepare for the JLPT. I think the Shinkansen Master book was way better, and the grammar part was kind of nice, but it was a bit hard to get used to, like with all the explanations or also with the lack of an explanation. Then the Shinkansen Master books. I only used 2 books from the series for prepping for the N4, and it was the listening and the reading book. And the listening book I was also not a big fan of. I didn't feel like it really helped me with my listening comprehension. And there are so many like YouTube videos out there with JLPT preparation exercises which are like for free and a lot better. So I don't think you have to invest in it. Then the Shinkansen Master reading book, on the other hand, I really loved it. Like, it was really good for preparing. It really taught me a lot when it comes to like how to read effectively in the exam and how to read quickly. So yeah, I definitely would recommend this one. The Shinihongo Gokyakumon book, N4 to N5. I also would say I can't live without it, like for prepping for the JLPT, because it was just a really good way to check if I know everything I need for the JLPT. And I also made a review video on this book, so I will also put it on the top. The official like test paper. In this book there's only like one JLPT exam, but it's like a full one and you can time yourself and just try practicing the whole exam at once. It was way too pricey, I think, for what it is. So I would say it's nice to have. I don't think you really have to do it, but it's of course nice to see like how the exam is structured and give yourself the experience of sitting through it once. Then Japanese short stories for beginners. I do like this book, but it has a lot of layout mistakes, which makes it a bit harder to enjoy. The stories are kind of interesting and there were a lot of words which were quite helpful, so I would say it's nice to have. Also Japanese short stories for beginners too. This is the second book from the series and it's definitely harder than the first one. The layout is way worse, I feel like, because they changed the font type and I think it's harder to read the Japanese like in the font that they used. So I would say it's meh. Let me know what you think about the rating so far, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to stay tuned for all the videos that are coming up on this channel. Thank you so much. So let's continue with apps. So the first app, and everyone knows this one probably, is Anki. I would say I can't live without it because I've been using it like for 2 years, almost every single day, and it helped me so much. Of course, There are other ways to study, and you can get your spaced repetition through reading as well. But if you don't have so much time for reading, or if you have like an exam coming up like the JLPT, then I think having a good spaced repetition system is essential. So the next app is Drops, a vocabulary app where you can like learn vocabulary for like 5 minutes a day for free. They have like so many languages, but of course I use it for Japanese. I really like it, but I don't know why, I always forget about it and I don't use it as often, but I should use it more often because I really love it. So maybe next year I will use it more. Also a vocabulary app is the Libra app. It's okay. I liked it better when they had more like free vocabulary stuff. Now you have to pay for most of the things on the app. I liked like the approach from the Drops app, for example, better, that you can study 5 minutes a day for free, and if you want to do more, you have to pay. Then the Mochi Mochi app. I really like the design of the app because it's really like cheerful and it's definitely fun to practice, and it has like vocabulary and kanji. And yeah, I would say it's a nice to have app. Learn Japanese kanji. I really like this app, and even though it has some mistakes and some things are not ideal, I actually can't live without it because I've been also using it for like I think also 2 years, and it helps me so much with getting my like spaced repetition for kanji in, and it also shows you the right stroke order, etc. So I really like it. Then the Bonpo app. This is an app where you can learn grammar structures, and I think it's nice. I do use it occasionally. For example, if I studied a grammar point in a textbook and then I want to see another explanation in the app, for example. So I would say it's nice to have. Then the Satori Reader app. This one I made a video about a few weeks ago, and I will also link it here. And I really love it. And they sponsored me before, but this is not sponsored, and I still like. I think it's a really great app because you can read, practice your listening comprehension, practice your kanji knowledge. You have a spaced repetition system built in to the app. I can only recommend it. And I will also, if I remember, put my link in the description. It's not an affiliate link, but you get a special discount. So feel free to use it. I would put it in the can't live without it tier. Then italki. I've been using italki for the last couple of months for practicing my speaking, and it really improved. Like, it's not that I'm fluent or anything, but I feel like it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it's nice to have a safe space with a teacher where you can practice your speaking. So I definitely love it. I don't think I can't live without it because I mean, I could also use other apps like HelloTalk. So yeah, I will put it in the love it tier. And if you also want to use a discount code for italki, I will also put it down below. Then HelloTalk. This one I do really like, even though there are some creeps on there, but it's really helpful for getting your like sentences corrected. Also, it's a place where you can talk to natives. I've been using it also, I think like 2 years or 3 years, like on and off. More now recently because I write more texts in Japanese, and it's so nice to have someone who can just correct it for me. So I would also say I can't live without it because otherwise I would have to pay someone probably to correct my texts, or like search someone in the wild and say like, hey, correct this for me. On the Reverso app you can get, for example, conjugations for verbs. You can also get like the contexts for words, and I find it really useful. For example, if I make my Anki cards, I always like to include an example sentence, and sometimes I can't come up with a sentence, and then I will just go onto the app and put in the word and see which sentence like kind of relates to my life or would be useful for me. And also when I write my texts, for example, then I will also sometimes put in a vocabulary word where I'm not quite sure if it's the right word for the context I want to use it in. So it's definitely also a great help. So I would say I love it. The Shirabe Jishu app is a dictionary app where you can, of course, look up words, etc. But I really like it compared to other dictionaries because you can save words in different lists, for example, and you also have like vocabulary lists for the JLPT, for example. So I love it. The next app is Bookmeter, and I will put the full name of the app here, so you can also look it up in the App Store. It's basically like a Japanese version of Goodreads, and I think it's nice to have if you read a lot of books and if you want to have your like statistic at the end of the year, or you just want to have your like digital bookshelf where you can see everything you've read. And it's really helpful to just document what you've done in Japanese, and if you ever want to come back to it, look something up, it's all there. The next two apps are tracking apps, so where you can track your study activity, for example. And the first one is the JLPT app. I really love this one because it has a lot of different functions, and you can study like in a study group with other people, and you get a really nice overview over the time you've studied in the day or in the week or in the month. I would also put it in the love it category, because it's not that I can't live without it, but I really like it because it shows me how much time I spend on a certain skill, like reading, listening, grammar, etc. and where I didn't put as much time in. So when I see like this week I haven't studied grammar like at all, then I know on Friday, okay, maybe I should incorporate this more this week. So yeah, it really helps me to structure my studying. And the next app is the Toggle Track app. And I don't like it that much, I have to say. I feel like the design is a bit like old. I don't think it has as many functionalities as the JLPT app, and you have to pay for quite a lot of functions, which is a bit unfortunate. So I definitely prefer the JLPT app, and I would say this one goes in the meh category because there are definitely better tracking apps out there. So this is my rating for all the resources I've used this year. Let me know what you think about it, if you would rate something maybe different than I did. Also let me know if there is an app you can't live without or you really love that I don't know or haven't considered in this rating. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. Don't forget to share it with a friend. And here's a playlist with reviews from most of the books I talked about today, so don't forget to check it out if you're interested. And I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye bye!